Hi, my name is Sheldon Livesay. I'm a ministry director for One Accord Ministry, one of the ministries that you serve down in Appalachia, Northeast Tennessee, part of the Appalachian mountain range. And we were so sorry yesterday to hear about the passing of retired Air Force Colonel Eugene Krizek, who was the founder of Americans Helping Americans back in the 80s. According to what you sent me, Brother Cameron, he founded Americans Helping Americans by forming partnerships with dedicated volunteers, providing medical assistance and food assistance and doing home repairs throughout the Appalachia area. His philosophy was to ask people what they needed and not just show up and give them things maybe that they didn't need. You know, I've got a little bit in common with your grandfather. Brother Cameron, he started Americans Helping Americans in 1985, and I was a founder of this organization in 1988, just a few years later. And your grandfather started in the attic of his townhouse, and I was able to start in the bedroom of my home. And my, how Americans Helping Americans has grown. Isn't it amazing when you look at it, the millions of people that have been served through the years through the donations that have come in for Americans Helping Americans, and how you have so generously supplied those to little ministries like ours scattered throughout the Appalachians. You know, your grandfather, even back then, could see the difficulty that ministries like this one have to operate and to provide the resources to do the work that God's given us to do without someone else's help. And that's where he stepped in, and that became his mission and goal. You know, in Appalachia, we see people all the time that don't have bathrooms in their homes. We still see people that don't have running water in their homes. I witnessed a lady once that had pulled a wagon into town, one of those little red Western flower wagons, and she had her food box in it. And my son and I offered to take that lady home. We got her home. She lived in a little 10 by 50, I guess, mobile home, just a small one. The door was standing open in the summertime, and we helped her take that food in. And she had told us that the reason that she brought that wagon into town to get her food box was that her 3 children didn't have anything on the table to eat that night. As I went in and was helping her put her groceries up, and a little bit to be nosy, but a little bit to help her. And I was able to see as I opened the cabinet doors, there wasn't a can of green beans, there wasn't a can of corn. I opened the refrigerator, and with 3 children, there wasn't a gallon of milk, there wasn't a box of cereal sitting on the table. Without the help that you provided so that we could provide this little lady, their family wouldn't have had anything to eat tonight. And that all comes through the resources of organizations just like yours, of Americans Helping Americans. Thank you, Colonel Krizek, and thank you, Brother Cameron, and all of those that are a part of Americans Helping Americans. I've gone in homes and seen people that didn't heat in the wintertime because the heat, these uninsulated mobile homes, might cost $200-300, and many of the average household incomes of the people we serve, especially in Hancock County, is just about $600. You just can't do it. So they learn to bundle up and to be cold and to endure. I remember going in one home right at Christmas time, and a lady that's 84 years old, her ceiling was just pieces of cardboard that were nailed to the ceiling, wallpaper hung in ribbons from the wall. It had been so old, it had rotted. The kitchen floor had rotted and caved in, and she had many jugs in her kitchen where she went to go up the road and get a neighbor's water and bring back once a week. All of that is life here in Appalachia that your grandfather, Colonel Krizek, has been so moved with compassion that he wanted to make a difference. And I promise you, he has. Thousands and tens of thousands and millions of people served by the agencies that have been helped through Americans Helping Americans. We have 3 food pantries. You help us with those. We distribute Christmas and Thanksgiving boxes to families, and you help us with the turkeys for those. We do a summer feeding program, a very unique program by renovating school buses in the summertime and feeding children, and you help us with that program. We have churches from around the East Coast that comes from Florida and Mississippi all the way to Michigan and Connecticut that come to the Appalachias to do home repair, and you help us with those home repairs. You help us provide eyeglasses for 60 to 70 of the residents here in Hancock County every year. And one of the things we've noticed is when you go into that county, so many of the residents have bad teeth, missing teeth, and we wanted to see a correction to that. So we talked to Brother Cameron, and you know what you came up with was providing dental kits, and those dental kits can be given out in the school system, starting in the elementary school and the middle school, trying to teach good hygiene habits to people here in Appalachia. I can't even begin to tell you how proud I know your grandfather, Brother Cameron, was of you. A man like him that had the compassion that he did, and to have a grandson that has grown up to be such a man with that same heart as your grandfather had. And I know beyond anything in me how grateful and how proud that he was of having a grandson just like you. So I know that I can speak for all of the agencies that are being helped by Americans Helping Americans, but we want to offer our greatest sympathy to you. We want to pray God's grace and His comfort to you and your family during this time, and let all of those know that are watching this video, that see it, that are a part of the giving to the resources of Americans Helping Americans. Yes, you do make a difference. We're on the front lines, and we see that difference every day. We see people touched and lives changed. And I just need you to know too that we believe in the bottom line also, not only serving people, but reaching people. So yes, we serve people, but we want to see those people in heaven with us. And locally, we've seen some 3,000 people, and overseas, some 70,000 people that have given their hearts and lives to Jesus Christ. And a lot of the work that is being done is through the help of and the resources of Americans Helping Americans. God bless you. We pray for you, and we thank you. Thank you again.